Welcome to Hope Street. My name is Dylan.
And my name's Alan, and this is us building our dream shoe business
To inspire you to follow your dreams. So Alan and I are both gym owners, personal trainers. That's kind of our connection, that's kind of our day-to-day life and our bond, how we met. So I'm going to take you through just kind of what my life is like here in San Antonio, Texas, owning my gym and training athletes. My first stop of the day, it's about 6:25 in the morning. I go to a local Catholic high school and I train a bunch of track athletes there in their gym. And they're now probably not going to film, just I don't want to get them on camera, but I'll kind of check in with you after that as we go along the day. This is my gym, K Sports Performance, here in San Antonio. And I opened only in May, so only 6 months ago. But it's been awesome so far. It's been so much fun. I got a lot of middle school, high school athletes, some college guys in the summer, and then some adults too. So it's a really good balance, and everyone really wants to be here and work out, which is exactly what I wanted. So it's been really fun so far. And I started pretty small just because it's my first gym. I've never owned a business before, and I didn't know anyone in this area. I just moved here about a year ago. So I wanted to start really small and just kind of grow from there. So quick tour, but huge turf area is where we can do a lot of our sprint work, dynamic warm-up, jumping, plyometrics, kind of warm-up area. Got some foam rollers, some bands for stuff like that. Got really good power rack from Rogue for all our complex barbell movements, dumbbells, trap bars, training barbells, really good for younger kids. There's only 15-pound barbells. And I got these 2 squat stands and a bunch of bumper plates, adjustable dumbbells down there that go up to 100, some boxes for box jumps, cool logo. And what I think is the coolest thing that I geek out on is for like sports performance. So I have these laser timing gates right here. So you basically spread them out like this. And so the second somebody runs through here, it starts the timer, and the second they cross through there, it would stop the timer. So we spread them out there on the other side of that wall. We can do 10-yard dash, 40-yard dash, fly 10s, 5, 10, 5, and everything's tracked on my iPad. And we get sprint times down to the millisecond. And it makes it sound like a profile, it's a graph, so people really like seeing that. So I got some athletes coming in later for workouts. I'm doing my little workout right now. As far as the training split I'm on, I do a high intensity, low intensity split. So high intensity days are I do sprints, jumps, heavy compound movements, barbell movements. It's very hard neurologically, like on your brain and your nervous system. And then low intensity days are cardio, arms, abs, calves. So not so like demanding on your body. And I like this split because you can basically train every day and no one day is too hard. It's kind of spread out a little bit, which I like. But I'm going to start just doing some sleds, just pulling at, medium intensity, just doing some backwards walks, and kind of tell you guys a little bit more about my experience with training in the gym and working out. Let's see if I can give you any advice. Doing some backwards sled walks. I got the phone taped to the top. Hopefully this holds on. But I've been working out for about 10 years now. I'm 28, so it was like senior year of high school. And even though I played sports, I played hockey growing up, I played baseball. I really started working out right when that all ended because I just kind of wanted something to pursue, something to chase, some sort of drive. I wasn't super happy with how I looked. I was always a little chunky, not fat, but a little heavier than I always wanted to be. So I just kind of found a friend and we just said, hey, let's start working out after school in the school gym. And we did that and it was awesome. It was so much fun. And I think we really fell in love with it because one, you're obviously trying to look good, but really just for the mental. It feels so good to do hard things and just kind of become that person you've always wanted to be. You see your body changing, then your confidence and your mindset, your ambition, your positivity. So that's why I really got into working out, and that's why I still do it. Beyond just the physical and the health benefits, it just feels really good mentally. So I started working out in high school, in college, and then realized I wanted to do this for my career when I was in college. So I would work out all the time. And I was just constantly researching different ways to get stronger, get faster, lose body fat, be more explosive. That was kind of all I did in my free time. And I was studying economics at a pretty good school, good university. But again, just no interest in that. So I transferred to my state school, Illinois, University of Illinois. And hold on. So I started studying exercise science, kinesiology. Really enjoyed learning the science of movement and everything. And then I started working at a really good gym in Connecticut. I was training a lot of athletes, a lot of professional hockey players, baseball, basketball, lacrosse. Just learned from some really good coaches there how to really train people and get results. Really tap into the mental side of training. How to really push someone to get them where you want them to go. I'm just kind of having fun in the process. So I was there for about 5 years. And then I finally moved here to San Antonio, Texas, where my family recently moved to now open my own gym here. And it's just funny thinking back because everything that changes throughout your life, from 18 now to 28, all the different times I've moved, relationships, just things that go on in the world, like working out and health has always been a constant. I've always been working out, always been eating right, wanting to improve and get better. So I just love it. It's so fun. And so with my gym now, I train a bunch of athletes and adults. And that's just the idea. It's just try to get 1% better every day. Try to get better mentally, physically. Just feel really good about yourself. And so Alan and I really linked up because we both have gyms with the same kind of mission. We want to just build people up, help people become the best versions of themselves. And it's so fun hearing about his stories in his gym. I tell him stories in my gym about people just getting better, how much fun it is, how rewarding it is to have this as a career. And I know a lot of people watching probably love working out in the gym and health. I'm telling you right now, being a personal trainer and having a gym is so fun. It's such a fun job. So I highly recommend, if you have an interest, just start. Just start training people. Start training friends or family, even if it's for free. Just really understand what it takes to help someone, be there with them, relate to someone. Really kind of understand the ins and outs of health and fitness from there. I'm starting to feel a little burn in the legs, but it's all good. So finish with the aerobic work with the sleds. About 15, 20 minutes. Now I just got biceps, triceps, some abs. Gonna do spider curls. We got tricep band press downs. But the next step, though, with Hope Street, what me and Alan are trying to build is we want to create this shoe that we think is going to help so many people. It's going to help you run faster, lift better, jump higher, but really just feel really confident in yourself. And we hope that by us trying to build this shoe and this journey, it's going to be really hard, but along the way, hopefully inspires you to do something that you know is going to make you really happy, and you know that can really fulfill you, just help you kind of get the most out of your life.
Guys, what's going on? I'm Alan from Hope Street. Dylan and I want to kind of get on camera today and just talk about our backgrounds so you guys can get to know us more. I've had a crazy day today of training to the gym all day. I started at 6 a.m. It's currently 3 p.m. and then I'm going till 9 p.m. tonight, but I have an hour off, so I thought I'd hop on camera quickly. Give me a second here. I'm reading off a script, so let me see, or just bulletin points. So let me see what I got here. Yeah, so I think Dylan and I mentioned this last video, but we both became very passionate about creating a good training shoe. That's kind of how Hope Street started. We saw a gap in the market for a barefoot training shoe, and so that's what we're kind of focusing, or that's how Hope Street started. And in our minds, it's continued to expand into maybe what will one day be an apparel brand. But it's also something that's given Dylan and I tons of hope, something to look forward to, something to put our energy towards, other than our gyms. So that's kind of what it's been, how it started, and. I think we're both excited to see what we can create, what we can manifest, what we can make it be one day. We have a vision in our head, and so we're excited to pursue that vision. I also wanted to talk about my background in the gym, how I got, how this started basically. It's been a long journey, I have to say that. But I'll start in high school. I was always, when I was playing sports, we always had like weightlifting. I was always really into weightlifting. I remember my freshman year, I had a good teacher, and he showed me the basics in the weight room. And I fell in love with it. I always just loved lifting weights. And then I'll say, my senior year in high school, I grew up playing hockey and volleyball. And my senior year in high school, I tore my ACL playing volleyball. I had partially torn it during a game. Someone landed on my knee, and I didn't know at the time, but looking back, I'd partially torn it. And then it was the end of my season. I was playing in a CIF game, and I went up to hit a ball and landed on one leg, and I heard a loud pop, and I fell to the ground, and I tore my ACL. And at that time, that was kind of a traumatic experience for me. I was 18. I'd never really had a serious injury before. And so kind of, the next couple of years dealing with that and trying to figure out how to rehab my knee, it was so frustrating. I was so frustrated. I couldn't get my muscle mass back, couldn't get my strength back. I was kind of lost. I went to some physical therapists, I went to personal trainers, and it was just... it was kind of a nightmare for me, trying to find the road back to where I was before the injury. And so that kind of really led me of, okay, I don't know how to do this. I'm very curious about this. And that kind of led me to pursue strength and conditioning as a career. And even when I started pursuing it, I didn't let myself at first. I studied finance in university, just because I thought I couldn't pursue a career in training. And when I was around 25, 26, I said, you know what, forget it. I'm going to pursue my passion in fitness and strength and conditioning. So I switched careers and started working as a trainer in just a normal gym. You know, I started a normal gym and kind of went from there. You know, I worked, let's say in a Globo gym. I worked, in a couple CrossFit gyms, just trying to get experience, seeing what it was all about. And I kind of came to the realization at one point, a couple of years in, that, hey, if I really want to do this, I need to find a great mentor, and really make myself stand out, really learn as much as I can in the field and get the best experience I can. So that's kind of how Dylan and I met. We moved to a gym on the East Coast under a very, very good strength coach. World-renowned strength coach, very, very good. And Dylan and I were both free. We were both interns there, working for free for our first summers. And that experience in itself, was amazing. It was very hard, but also amazing. Getting to work day in and day out with one of the best strength coaches in the country, getting to work with Olympic, professional athletes, collegiate athletes, and really getting to learn, the ins and outs of being a strength coach, and those off seasons working there is what eventually led me to be able to open up this place. Without that experience, without that, without going through all those experiences and hardships, I'll say, I wouldn't be the strength coach I am today. And I still have a ton to learn, but still, it shaved off probably 10 years of studying and going around and learning from people. That experience alone, working under my mentor for those off seasons, they were very important for me. I started as an intern, worked my way up as an assistant under my mentor, and then a coach for him. And I'm always, when I'm in here training my clients, I'm always falling back on that experience with him. And I kind of have that as like a mental framework in my mind of, okay, I've seen so much, I've seen a great coach work and kind of know the ins and outs of it. But so that's kind of my story in a gist. I could probably spend an hour video talking about, small experiences, a month at a time or a year at a time, but I'm kind of just giving you guys the background right now. Yeah, I think besides those experiences of opening up this gym, right now you guys are seeing, I just expanded. I started my gym around 2.5 years ago. After I worked for my mentor for 4 off seasons, I moved back to California, where I'm from, and I was kind of trying to decide where I wanted to open up a gym. And I said, you know what, look, I'm just going to start in my hometown and kind of go from there. So I started a very small studio next door, and then I just expanded to this. It's still. Let me show you around here. I'm still kind of getting everything ready. I still have boxes back there, little things I'm still setting up. I still don't have signage on my front windows. You can see my front windows right there. So yeah, but I'll give you guys a quick tour just so you guys can kind of see where I'm working every day. Let me go to the back of the room here. So again, my old place was probably, let's say, from the turf and then over. So it was more than half as small, that's for sure. But anyway, so I'm in the corner of the room right now. You kind of see we have I have 5 power racks back there, a good turf space, got some machines over here. But this is really, I was dreaming of this when I was first going to a mentor on the East Coast, and work over there. And this is kind of what I had in the back of my mind of what I wanted to do. And it still kind of trips me out that I'm here now. and Dylan and I are doing it together. Dylan's, one of my best friends. And we've been kind of doing this journey together. So that's been amazing as well. But yeah, this is it. And so now that we have this, Dylan and I know we're always talking business, and that's kind of how Hope Street started. We had an idea, and we kept talking about it, and now we're finally taking action on it, and starting the initial steps. And also, I'm going to talk a little bit kind of how, the gym developed and how it kind of developed my character, my personality. when and I'm sure Dylan would say something similar. You know, when I switched my careers and went into training, and I went to learn from my mentor, and I remember that first summer I was an intern and I was working for free. I was so nervous, you know. I was like, "What are you doing, man? This is crazy." Everyone, you know, I had so many people telling me, "You're crazy for doing, you know, doing a career switch and working a trainer." Everyone's saying like, "Trainers don't make any money. Like, what are you thinking?" And I remember at the time I was following my intuition. Like, for some reason I was like, "Hey, I'm passionate about this. My intuition's telling me to go this route," and I you know, I had to follow it. You know, I've never been someone to be super practical. So if I feel something, you know, intensely, you know, I have no choice but to follow that gut feeling. So yes, I mean, you know, it's funny. We're here right now, and I'm sure you're like, "Oh, it's so cool you have a gym," but you know, I would say follow what you're passionate about. I mean, especially in your career, follow what you're passionate about, and it's going to be hard regardless, right? You know, my times on the East Coast, they were tough. You know, I was going through some personal things. You know, there's so many ups and downs. I'll say probably I was, you know, there was a lot of growth. I was probably never really like 100% happy. You know, I knew I had to be there because I wanted to learn from this coach, and I knew the experience was invaluable, and one day would translate into hundreds of thousands of dollars, you know, of what I would gain, the experience I would gain, and what I would do with my own facility one day. And you know, the service I offer my clients, I can only offer the service because of the experience I had on the East Coast with my mentor. So you know, I understood it back then, but there you know, there's a lot of ups and downs, and a lot of grinding, and then even when I had my first place and I opened up here, long days, you know, or first, you know, not having clientele, not having any clientele, and then slowly growing the clientele, and nervous, like, am I going to get clients? You know, it's always in the back of your mind when you first start, and then you get the clients and you're excited, and okay, you're working long days. You know, some days I'll work, you know, I'll do 13 sessions in a row some days, and it's awesome. I'm so thankful for it, but still it's long days, right? So some people tell me I could never do that. So, you know, I just say slowly, somewhere in between there. You know, I think when I first started this journey going to the East Coast, I think I was a kid still, you know. Even though I was 25, I was a boy still. I was a kid. And somewhere between there, you know, I became more of a man. I have a lot more to learn, a lot more to grow, but I became a lot more of a man than I was then, you know, and I'm sure I'll say the same thing in 2 years out from now, right? But I think, you know, somewhere in that process, you know, it's been such a journey. And again, I'm just kind of skimming over the top quickly, but yeah, you know, you just get to know yourself more. You get more comfortable. I got more comfortable with my skin. You know, I got to love myself more, you know, through those experiences, and seeing what I could do, and you know, what I've been through, and you know, I wouldn't change it for the world. It's everything's led me to this point, to Dylan and I starting our own shoe brand, you know, and it's been an amazing journey so far, and I can't wait to see what's next.